Hi, I'm Rigger, this is You Alright, and today we are going to continue down the path of the Avatar. So far we've built up quite the story, learnt quite a few life lessons and faced some real hardships. And now we're going to continue down that by delving into the Blue Spirit. Now, up front, I do know who the Blue Spirit is, but I'm very interested to get into this storyline and see how it plays out in the actual show, with actual development and time. So, anyway, before we start, be sure to like the video if you like it, share it if you think someone else would like it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and of course, subscribe for more. Now, I am, like I said, I'm very interested to dive into this because I know who the identity of the Blue Spirit is, but, you know, the most I've seen of it is the, 5 minutes that's in the movie, which is not going to do it justice, and, you know, I want to see how it actually plays out in full. And I will say that this is basically the halfway point of the season, so I'm very curious as to how it plays out, because it's going to set up our, working towards whatever our climax is eventually, and it's playing into the fact that I really would like to get the first season done with, because I really want to see where we go from there, because then I'm really blind. I know Toph is a character, I know a little bit about her, and I know there's that crazy Fire Nation girl, and that's it. So, yeah, can't wait to get there. But to get there, we have to get through these episodes. We have the journey to continue. So, I will see you on the other side. Alright, and that was the Blue Spirit. That was really fun. So, start off, we'll just dive into plot. So, the, whatever his rank was, Zhao, is now being promoted to Admiral, which gives him the authority to take over the Yuyan archers, which are incredibly good archers, as he is now heading the operation to capture the Avatar. We have the fallout from the last episode with the storm that Sokka, and then we find out later Katara, are going to come down with heavy sickness, fevers, hallucinations, etc., just from exposure. And to try and help them, Aang knows that Aang found a map that says there is a healer up on a hill, and he will go there and bring back a remedy. However, there's a storm out, so he leaves his glider behind and decides to go on foot. As he does go on foot, he is spotted, and while he learns what he needs to do to help his friends, which is recover some frozen frogs to suck on. When he is attempting to collect them, the archers, with their incredible skill, overwhelm him and pin him, and he is captured. He's then taken to a base, a Fire Nation stronghold, and held. And it is revealed that they don't plan on killing him or anything like that. They're going to keep him alive, but barely, for the rest of his life, so that he isn't reborn elsewhere and continues to be an issue. Back at Sokka and Katara, their conditions are worsening, and Katara implores Momo to help. However, Momo is no help, and rather than bringing them back water, brings them back everything else but. So that's them done. And then we see a mysterious blue-masked ninja type person sneaking into the stronghold, and he seems to know assumably he, body shape we assume he, seems to know their way around, and very effectively takes out as minimal guards as possible along the way, but who they need to, enters the chamber, frees Aang, and leads him to safety. They get halfway out before their presence was noted and the missing Avatar was noted and the alarms go off, and then they work together through a long combat sequence to escape. Once they have escaped, one of the archers takes a pinpoint shot and knocks out the blue-masked person. Aang, turning around, notices that it's Zuko. He has the scar on his face and is forced to make the choice to either leave Zuko behind or rescue him, since Zuko rescued him in turn. He makes the choice to rescue Zuko and vanishes along with him, leaving the now Admiral Zhao with nothing, and takes Zuko to a forest where he asks him a sort of personal question, but Zuko's only response is to attack him, but Zuko is in no condition to fight, and Aang easily just runs away. He recovers the frogs he needs, he heads back to Sokka and Katara and heals them, and Zuko goes back to his ship without anyone knowing what he did. Just questions of where he went, not answering them, and he goes to bed to contemplate things, and that's where we end. So, plot-wise, again, simple, easy to understand, but there's deeper things at play here. So obviously I knew who the Blue Spirit was. I'm actually very happy that, despite knowing that, it's not something that's drawn out over like lots of episodes where I have to be like, okay, how long till they reveal it, because I know who it is. No, it's in this episode to reveal it. So that's really cool. Also, it shows off Zuko's skill with swords, something that he hasn't really used before. At least on screen. Like, you get a hint it might be, it's a Fire Nation person, because you see Fire Blast come from, obviously, him, even though it's down a hallway. Like, it's not the guard, it's the other person that's come in the wrong direction. But in general, it's very well done. It would be hard to tell it's Zuko otherwise, because he doesn't use his firebending much. He's very skilled as a swordsman, which is not something we've seen him use before, so you could have actually kept this going. And obviously, Fire Nation is red, so you dress them in blue, like it's the exact opposite color. So, And, you can take from their efficiency at breaking in that they might know a thing or two about the Fire Nation, or how they work, how their guard setup work, etc. like that. But the big notes for this aren't... a lot of it's in the craft of the episode. Like, I really noticed the music this episode. It was a lot heavier, a lot more dramatic. It was a bit tribal at times. It was really cool. Lots of chants and things, but in the multiple chases and the fight scenes, the music really picked up to a noticeable degree. Two issues that are weird. Aang heading off without his glider is weird. I know he didn't want to fly because of the weather, but there's no reason to not take it with you just in case, and it would have helped. So, that seems contrived, a bit convenient that he just leave it completely alone, even though it's also a weapon he can use and other things. And the other one is that Momo is suddenly not helpful. He's been so helpful all the time, to the point where I think he's way intelligent, and then we get Momo Vision where he can't understand what they're saying, and suddenly he doesn't know how to help them, and yeah, that just seems whatever. The quote-unquote crazy old lady, who is the herbalist, she seemed like a random character to put in. I think they were just having fun. They want an excuse to put a cat in, that's fine. Sorry, I was going to say with the craft, the choreography in, like, the arrow, the takedown with the arrows wasn't amazing as whatever, but the choreography for the escape was excellent. The fight choreography was exceptional. All the sword play, the martial arts, the use of the bending, mix of comedy and seriousness, very dark tone for this, not just like, hey, we're not gonna kill you. I'm like, oh, that's good. No, we're gonna keep you barely alive. It's like, oh, fantastic, forever. So, yeah, that's just like straight up, mistreatment and torture for the rest of your life. That's what's in store for you, buddy. And then, even when we're breaking out, like, we have to take him alive, so the Blue Spirit plays the, I'll kill him game, puts the swords to Aang's neck. And, we get that he won't, but it's still like, yep, threats of death all over this episode, which is pretty dark for this sort of, for a kid's show. But the other thing I was going to say is I did like also another big thing was Aang being forced to choose. He saw it with Zuko. He had moments to choose whether to leave him or to take him, and he chose to take him, and that speaks to Aang. But he did have to think about it, and I can understand why, it's showing him to be a good person, but he's not saintly. It's like, oh, well, what do I pick? Like, that is a hard choice. This person has done me a lot of wrong, and clearly wants to hurt me, but has just rescued me from a situation I couldn't rescue myself from, so what is the right choice? And I did like Aang's little speech with him afterwards, saying, like, at another time we could have been friends. Was, like, do you think we could have been friends? Because I used to have a friend from the Fire Nation. And you can see Zuko trying to process it, who had just recovered from, like, a concussion, and is just, pretty out of it. But he does contemplate the question for a second before attacking, and then Aang just easily leaves. But it was an interesting question. And then you see Zuko, when he's back on his ship, contemplating the Fire Nation banner. Because, it's for his he mentions it earlier in the episode, that, with Zhao's promotion to Admiral and the resources he now has, there's no chance he won't get the Avatar. And that means that Zuko won't get the Avatar. And that means he has no chance to recover his honor and retake his place at the top and, regain his father's graces and won't ever get to lead the nation. All these kind of things. So, it makes sense. And I get that, he's breaking him out so that Zuko can be the one to grab him. But it's, the more time you get Zuko and Aang to have, like, actual talks, like, be face-to-face when they can't hurt each other or, it's not going to go that route, is interesting. The Yuyan Archers were an interesting idea, but I wonder if they're going to continue to be around, because they feel like one of those things where they'll be super effective and, like, they're doing ridiculous shots every time we see them. you know, they're not just hitting bullseyes, they're not just threading their own arrows, but they're doing it 3 times over, which is, you know, doing it once is... Anyway. And then all of them can do that. It can hit their target every time, and then, you know, when they take down Aang, they're doing it in high wind, and they're still pinpoint. It's like, okay, so they're insanely accurate, but I wonder if they're gonna fall down Stormtrooper holes where, you know, only Stormtroopers are so accurate, and then they're like, oh, they let us escape, they were missing, but then after that, they can never hit crap anyway. And I wonder if they'll be like that, where, oh, they have the best archers in the world who are insane, but all future episodes, they'll just be an archer threat, and they'll always miss, pretty much. But, I don't know, maybe not. I did like another little detail. I like that, back on Zuko's ship, Iroh has the statue that he bought from the pirates and the musical instrument he bought as well on that episode. Just little callbacks to tie everything together, make it feel cohesive. I initially thought, oh, it's so random that Sokka's sick. But I went, oh, no, he was in the storm and they mention it. Yeah, no, that does make sense. So little consequences. That's fun. The Momo thing does sort of confuse me, only because it's so separate to how he's been portrayed otherwise. I did sort of look over it and see, like, did I miss a detail? Like, is there something spiritual going on? So Momo's possessive spirit that makes him super helpful or whatever isn't there? You know, my theory that he might have been the dragon or whatever. Like, is it just the actual, Lima for now? Like the base one that doesn't understand anything? Also, it would be interesting if they kept some of that stuff Momo stole, because he seemed to get like a crown and like a treasure chest and a whole bunch of stuff. Wonder what's in there. If it was more than just a visual joke and they actually found something cool. But, you know, whatever. I think that's about it. A quick, episode for me, I guess. A quick review from me. But just because it was simple doesn't mean it wasn't effective, and doesn't mean it wasn't really good, and doesn't mean I really want to see what happens next. I want to see what happens if Aang talks to Katara and Sokka about this situation. It'll be interesting to hear. And yeah, that'll do it for now. Until next time, remember that if your party is already feeling sick, don't consume any more blue spirits. Anyway, my name is Rigger. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope I did alright.